All right, so I'm going to be demonstrating my final project for CS4550, which for me is called the Book Club. Block out here so you get to the homepage. So I decided to use the Google Books API and kind of build something around that. So what I did was build an online book club platform that allows you to create different book clubs, select different books to read within your book club, and create and contribute to discussions about those books. So to get started, we'll come at this from a brand new user. So we're going to go ahead and register, and we'll create Alice. Name. So register, and we see right now we don't belong to any groups, so we're going to go start a group, or actually rather join one. All right, so we have two options here. We can either create a new group, or we can find an existing group. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to join an existing group to show the base functionality, and we'll get into what it means to be an administrator of a group in a few minutes. So the Red Rising trilogy is pretty recent. I read it, liked it a lot, so we're going to go ahead and see what we can find. We can see there are two groups here. One, the public group, which you can see by this little unlocked icon. The other is private. So if you see here, we can just go ahead and join this public group automatically. But with this other one, we have to request to join. So we're going to join the public one. And you can see we're taken to the group homepage. And there's a couple things going on here. One is you can see right now we're viewing the current reading. And a reading is just a specified period of time the group is going to focus on one book. That's all it means. So you can see here we have the current book is The Red Rising, the first book in the trilogy. We can go ahead and so it gives some information about the book. You can see the cover, the title, who it's by, the ratings. All this information is coming from the Google Books API, and as well as this description. You can expand this and read this a little bit more. This section also supports an HTML version of the description and will automatically sanitize and inject that HTML into here. And Google's API actually does provide HTML just formatted descriptions depending on which endpoint you hit. So here, these line breaks are coming from the actual HTML. And we can also see a bunch of discussions that already existed, created by a user called Jeff. So we can also create our own discussion here, but first let's just go look and see, look at one of these discussions. So if we click here, it'll take us to the discussion. You can see there's the topic is at the top, and the person who created it, that information is all at the top. And you can see that Jeff already added a comment here. So a few things we can do. One, well, we can like his comment or unlike it if we wish. So right now we're just gonna like it, and then we can add our new comment and say, I'm not so sure. It seems pretty certain. Add this, and you can see our comment appears here. Then we have a few options. We can, since this is our own comment, we own it, we can edit and delete it if we so choose. So we can go ahead and edit it and say, let's make it a little more enthusiastic. One thing is we can cancel it and it stays the same, or we can go ahead and submit it and it changes. We can like our own comment too if we like, but I'm not going to do that. Then we can also, if we want to, delete our comment, so that goes away. But let's re-add it. So let's go back to the group. Now we've shown what a discussion looks like. Let's create our own discussion. So you get a little pop-up here. We can say, oh, I don't know. How do you imagine Kitchener? Who is another character in the series? Right, so you see the discussion gets added here, and we can go ahead, it gets created with our topic, our user information, and then we can go ahead and add a first comment if we wish. That. Let's go back to the group now, and you can see it's still added there. We can also look at past readings. So there are no for this group, and we also look at group members. So you can see it's divided into two groups, admins and members. We can see ourselves, and Jeff is the admin of this group. So if we click on ourself, we can go to our profile page, where since it's ourself, we can update our information if we want to. So let's there you go. Now to get back to our group here, we can also remove ourselves from this group if we want. Maybe. I guess not. That worked at one point. So I'll have to give that a look. Great, you see our name got updated here as well. So that's what it looks like from a user's perspective. So let's let Alice go ahead and create a group of her own. And let's see here. We do Game of Thrones. We'll make this group public, so we'll create it. And if we go to the home page, you see we have a new, this is a summary of the groups that we belong to, and you can see that we have Red Rising here, and we also have Game of Thrones, our new group. So we can click on this one and get, you see there are no readings. We also get this extra button over here, and this is the admin controls. So we can create a new reading, remove a reading, or edit the reading. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a reading. You can pick a start and end date for the reading. And then we select a book, and this takes us to the search page. Now we can search for any book we would like. And we can see there's Game of Thrones, and here's the here's the search results page, and we can select the one that we would like for our reading. So we select it, and then take us back, and our reading has been created. So we could have some discussions here if we'd like, but we'll hold off on that. We can also go, now we can edit or remove the discussion. So let's edit it, and let's change the book. Let's have it be the second book in the series, or maybe the third. I never remember. So we can select this one, and there we go. And it seems like the image is having a bit of trouble loading, but hopefully it'll show up in a second. There you go. And there, we've just updated our reading. So if we add a discussion here, and then we go ahead and with our admin controls say that we want to edit the reading, we get this little trash symbol here. So if we would like to, we can stop editing it, and you see it goes back to normal link. But we could edit the reading and go ahead and delete that, and then it goes away. We can also delete the whole reading. So we can just remove the reading. That's another option. So that is the main functionality for creating and joining a group. From a user perspective, we've seen a little bit of the admin perspective. But now I want to go back and look at, if you remember, there's this concept of a private group, and we didn't really see what that was about. So with Alice, let us go to look up Red Rising again, and you can see we can't join this group because we've already joined it. We're already a member of it, but we can request to join this group. So we're going to request to join Red Rising Private. Now you see we're not a member of this group yet. We do not have, we're not an admin, so we don't have admin controls. Here's a good example of the HTML rendering that I spoke of earlier. Some of the descriptions from the Google Books API are a little bit better formatted than others, which is why some of them look a little strange, but some of them are clearly well done. Unfortunately, that's out of my control, but I worked with what I had. So now we're going to log out and log into Jeff, because he is the administrator of this group, and we can see that here. Right, so Alice is not a member of this group yet. We've only sent an invitation. So we'll log out. We're going to log in. Jeff. And here you go. Here's our nice little homepage summary of the discussions that we have. You can also get to all the discussions right from here. So just as an example of that, we can go to How Do You Mention Fitchner. See Alice created this and commented on it, and we'll go back to the group, back to the homepage, and let's click on Red Rising Private. Now you see he is an admin. We are an admin of this group now, as we're logged in with Jeff, and we have our admin controls. We can add discussion. We also, here's one that has some past readings. So you'll see that the golden, well, I should go back just to give some context. This is the third book in the trilogy. We can see this group has gone through the second one. They've also gone through the first one. We're not in discussions there, but that's okay. So back to the current read, and we'll go to members. And here you see there's this other section now, because we're an admin, called requests. And these are people that have requested to join this group. We can do one of two things here. We can, check them and say that's okay, they can join the group, or we can deny the request. And we're going to let Alice join. So you see request is now empty, and Alice is now a member of the group. Since we are an admin, we do have additional controls over here over the group members. One is we can remove the member from a group, or we can promote them to an admin. But I can show both of them. Well, I can pretty much just show one of these. If I'm going to promote her to an admin, you see she now, there are no group members, and she's now an admin. But we don't allow admins to delete other admins. Only admins can remove themselves, but that's it. So that, I think, sums up most of the functionality. I guess the only other thing to look at would be searching. So we've seen this page earlier when we were selecting a book for a reading, and there are kind of two modes of this page. One is when you are selecting a book for a reading, you get that select this book button, but you can also just generally search the API as well. So let's see here. Let's look up a book called Surface Detail by Ian Banks. Great sci-fi book, and you can see we get a whole bunch of results here. So it's paginated, so we can go to the next page if we wish, fetch those results. We can go back. But here's the book we would like, and we can expand this to see some details of it. You get the description, the rating, the name and the author, and some information about the publisher and the book length, and that's about it. But you do not get that select book button because we are not selecting a book for a reading. We are just browsing the API. And so we can log out, back to the home page. Sometimes the background gets messed up, and hopefully I'll be able to fix that before we start grading, but that is the book club.